Now we're going to talk about the elbow strike. So the elbow strike from our spear stance or our fighting stance, it doesn't really matter. The main things that we want to make sure is when I throw the strike, I do want my hand to be open of the side that I want to throw the strike with. And the reason for this is going to help the muscles to be loose. In this moment, if our muscles are loose, then we're going to be able to strike harder and strike faster. So from right here, I'm going to be in this position. If I'm going to use my rear arm, the way I want to throw an elbow strike is actually if you take these two fingers and sit them on the front side of your elbow. This is your striking surface. This is where you want to hit with, okay? That bone is actually very strong and can cause a lot of damage. So if I'm here and I throw the strike across, notice I'm keeping this hand up to guard my head. I have this shoulder up to guard my head, and I return. So again, I strike across, and one more time. Notice that I'm turning my hips and I'm rotating, because remember, every strike, my power comes from my hips. So from this position, we can also do a rising elbow. I will go straight up this way. So as it travels up, and again, and again. And then we also can actually take it down, but we're not going to use the back side of the elbow, not right now. We can turn it this way and come down here. Okay, over the top. And one more. Notice that I'm always turning, so that blade, that part, the bone, is what is actually striking. Okay, now that we have Bob out here, we're going to look at a couple different ways how we would do this. Usually it's best to do an elbow strike if you're already in close. So if they are trying to grab you, then elbow strikes are good there. It's even better if we can get that single collar clinch that we worked on earlier. The reason this is so good is because my hand on the back of his head is not going to allow him to back up and cushion that blow by moving backwards. I'm going to make him take the force of the entire elbow. So as I'm here, I come across and hit. I want to think about the elbow hitting the jaw, the cheek, or even the brow, possibly the nose. Anywhere in there is actually going to cause damage, it's going to cause a lot of pain. The brow, not as much. So as I am right here, I want to strike across. Again. Again. Okay, another way we can do this is if this arm is up and trying to block me. I'm going to switch sides because Bob's arm is up a little more on this side. So if I'm right here, I might have trouble coming across and elbowing through. They're blocking me. So I'm going to drive up. Okay, so that's when this upward elbow works really well, because it's going to go right into the jaw area here. And again. And the other way we talked about was actually coming down. So from here, I can come across and go down. This works really well across the bridge of the nose. But also, if you are here, we have to think about the fact that the elbow is actually a very sharp bone. And if you can hit more of a glancing blow with this very sharp bone across the forehead or the brow area, then you can actually cause a lot of damage. Now I'm going to get gross for just a moment, but actually our forehead is just skin stretched across bone. So if we can take a sharp bone like an elbow and hit across there, there's a very good chance that it would split open. If it splits open, then they're going to bleed, and if they bleed, they're going to bleed probably into their eyes from that position. If you're bleeding into your eyes, then you can't see, and if you can't see, it's going to make it very hard for you to attack. So this is just going to make it a lot easier for you to get away. And you may be thinking, I don't necessarily want to get a stranger's blood on me, and you're not wrong, but we have to remember that if your life is in danger, you have to be willing to do anything it takes to get out of the situation. So the over-the-top elbow would actually come into play very well for this one. Here, over the top, and just coming down onto the forehead. Again, and again. Make sure that you are practicing these on a mitt, on a pad, something that you can hit at full power.